What's going on, everybody? Welcome back. Welcome. It's Mr. Bitcoin Maxi. Now, wasn't planning on hitting the record button, but I was on my run, get my exercise, enjoying the sun, and thought I'd just pull the phone out, start recording, give my thoughts on it. It's been a while since I just walked and talked to you all, besides me writing all my scripts, trying to structure them to give you guys as much good information on Bitcoin as I can. Now, I was thinking and wondering and asking myself, why is the US been so quiet? Why have they been so quiet about the Bitcoin strategic reserve? And I felt a little conflicted about it because I was like, well, at least in my opinion, we need that to grow. And some people might disagree. However, I really think that Bitcoin or the US buying Bitcoin, and I believe they proposed that they want to do 1 Bitcoin or 1 million Bitcoin for the next 5 years. And it got me thinking, well, the longer they take, it's actually a good thing for us. It's a good thing for us that believe in the long-term side of Bitcoin. And some people might say, well, they're taking their time because the government shutdown, and we never really know what's going on behind the scenes. And in my opinion, we already see that it works. Look at the president of El Salvador, right? I believe he's buying 1 Bitcoin. I believe it's every day or something like that. And so they are thriving. They made it legal tender and they are thriving. And it gets you thinking, why isn't, with the amount of debt the US has, why don't we just do something like that? However, in my opinion, we don't really know what's going on behind the scenes, because maybe there's things that we don't know could cause, with every action, there's an equal or opposite reaction. So they're probably trying to weigh their options and wonder, okay, well, if we do a Bitcoin strategic reserve, then this happened. So in my opinion, we're just buying time. That's all we're doing. For the people who believe in Bitcoin, it's actually a good thing, because I believe the price will definitely go up when they start acquiring this. Now, the US already holds 200,000 from all the confiscation. So that is already taken out, right? So you have to think, this is a good buying opportunity. Now, another one that I was thinking was the China tariffs. The US is announcing more tariffs on China. And it was actually funny, as I seen a tweet. I don't know if it was a real tweet, but I believe Bitcoin Magazine or something posted it, where it was like Michael Saylor was tweeted or posted on X or something like that Bitcoin has no tariffs, which is ultimately true. But times like this, you have to understand that it's best to not sell and take advantage of times like these, because when you take advantage of times like these, when everybody else is getting shaken out, and I hope you watching this, you're not one of them, one of the ones that got shaken out and sold, because look, we're already back up to 114,000 as of today. And I believe we went down to, what was it, a little under 109, which sucks, because I definitely missed that, because when things like that happen, I love going in there and buying a little bit more. So for example, if I'm buying $100 a day or $50 a day, right, and we see Bitcoin rallying, I tend to ease off the gas, because I'm like, you know what, eventually there's going to be a dip. And so I have patience, right? But I still dollar cost average every day, like I teach you all on the channel. It's still good to dollar cost average every day. However, when things like this happen in the world, you have to understand Bitcoin is very early compared to gold and silver, right? Gold and silver, in my opinion, even though I don't like gold and silver besides jewelry, gold and silver are a little bit more stable and less volatile than Bitcoin. However, Bitcoin's growth is better over the long haul. The long-term investors of Bitcoin are more rewarded than those of gold. But you have to understand, Bitcoin is very early compared to gold and silver. That's why Bitcoin is so volatile. And the good thing about it being volatile in times like this, where tariffs are taking place and there's these events that make Bitcoin dump, and then the whales are trying to manipulate the price, it's ultimately a good thing for us to go in there, for us average people that are just trying to get ahead, to go in there and buy more. So if you're putting $10 a day, right, or $5 a day, and you see it dump down to like 109, 108, and be like, you know what, today I'll put an extra $10 in there today I'll put an extra $20 in there today. Because you have to understand, you're getting more satoshis, you're getting more Bitcoin for your dollars when you do that, as opposed to if you put $20 a day, or excuse me, say you put $20 in there, right, and the Bitcoin's price is 124,000. Now if you take that same $20 and you buy Bitcoin when it dumped, for example today, down to a little under 109, then you'd get more Bitcoin and satoshis for your dollar. And you have to understand that the problems that we are facing in the world is really bad. There's poverty going on everywhere. It's crazy. Another thing that I want to get off my chest and talk about is, when I grew up in the Bay Area, right, I remember seeing it just so beautiful everywhere. And that was back in the early 90s. I remember it when I was a kid. I was like 5 or 6, and it's crazy. I still have memories from back then. But I remember there wasn't really that many homeless people everywhere. I don't remember seeing any people on drugs or homeless or anything like that. And the crazy thing now is I walk outside and I see just more and more poverty growing over the years. And you have to ask yourself, why is that? And that ultimately led me to being good in school with economics. And economics is really what drove me into studying Bitcoin. And ultimately that's why I made this channel, because I want to educate you all on Bitcoin. And I really hope that you take it serious and you take your financial future serious, and understand that the more money, the more dollars you try and save, like my grandma, my grandpa taught me. My grandma, my grandpa, when they were younger, or when I was younger, I grew up with my grandma, my grandpa, like on and off. And I kid you not, they used to always say, save every dollar that you can. And I remember bags of hot Cheetos, which I loved when I was a kid, they used to be like 99 cents. You get like 3 of them for like $3. And then now you can basically buy 1 bag for the same price of 3 back then, right? So now it's like what, $3 for one with tax, just for a tiny little snack bag. So a lot of people don't understand that saving dollars is not helping you. And even if your bank is sitting here saying that, well, we can give you like 2%, 1%, 0.6% on your savings, you have to understand that the amount of debt that's growing every year is surpassing what the bank is promising you for a savings. So I want to come on and make this rant, just give my thoughts, and really connect with you all, because when I write my scripts, it really takes me a long time to write these scripts and structure them so you guys try to understand Bitcoin better. And I'm really just trying to reach everybody in the world and educate people in the world, because I really don't want to see, to be honest, I don't like going outside and seeing people on drugs or people homeless and people struggling more to pay bills. And to me, it's just bad to see, and at the same time, if I can reach more people in the world and educate them, then that's possibly one more person that I can just be like, look, this is how Bitcoin works. This is why Bitcoin works. These are the numbers on why Bitcoin works. This is why fiat isn't good to save like we've been taught. And yeah, if you made it this far, thank you. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. I read every one of your comments, And of course, I will be coming out with more videos. Stay tuned. I'm Mr. Bitcoin Maxi. We're all Bitcoin Maxis. Have a good day.